Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
Doing
How are
great,
you?
thank you.
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Can you guys hear me okay? See me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the podcast, Black Bold and Beautiful podcast, the podcast for the culture. I am Ashley Angelina. And I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves to the viewers and listeners. But first, we can go ahead and do a quick prayer.
Sure.
Awesome. Would you guys like me to do it or would you guys like to do it?
Sure, you can pray.
Okay, let's bow our heads. God, we come to you humbly. Thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for keeping us, oh Lord. We thank you for keeping us throughout the day and just keeping us safe from hurt, harm, or danger. We thank you for the Scots for their yes to be on the podcast and just to give us some insight on what it is like to be a newlywed and just to sit down and have a conversation with myself. I ask that you continue to cover their union, Father God. We bind up anything that may come against it right now, God. We ask that you also take away any nervousness, Father God. Let them know this is a safe place. This is an open space, Father God, for them to just allow free conversation, Father God, without judgment. We love you on today and we thank you. I just ask you to continue to cover my friends, God, and just keep them in the palm of your hand, them, their families, their babies, and just continue to do and be who you are to them and for them. In your precious name, we do pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you for praying.
Amen.
So, could you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves to the viewers and listeners?
Sure.
Sure. My name is Ophni Scott.
And I am Shanika Scott.
Awesome, awesome. And I wanted to get you guys on here because first off, you guys are newlyweds. Congratulations again. I know I told you guys like a million times, but congratulations again. Welcome to the club.
Thank
Um I have a few questions that I want to ask. But I will start out with um how did you all meet? What
Well,
what was that dynamic like?
I have a
And
question. Can we do a pre-question?
sure.
Who are these directed to? Because
Who
I'm
are
a
the
talker and he's not that much of a talker.
I feel like you don't have a lot of faith in my brother, and he already upped you one because he's here. I got your back, Scott. So please have a little more faith in what he can do. He showed up. That's more than what you gave him credit for.
thank
Ain't
you. I
that right,
appreciate
Scott? I got you covered, brother. I told you I got you covered.
it. All right.
I'm gonna
So
mind my
if
business.
the questions are for both of you to answer, Miss Scott,
Thank you. Okay.
no problem.
So the question was, where did we meet?
Where did you all how did you all meet? How did you come to be? And then after that, once you have gone through that,
Okay.
we'll go into how you knew that this was the one for you.
Okay. First of all, like, it all starts for me by praying because, I grew up in a family where it's marriage first. So, I wanted that for myself. So I was like, let me try to get a wife. And I tried to seek some, but, they weren't in my criteria that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted. So I started praying for a wife, you know what I'm saying? And God sent me her. But a story short, like it was all through Facebook. We met.
Your turn.
Oh, I have to elaborate. I thought that was real good. I'm like,
Yes.
even hear the version of that when we met. So I don't even think I told him this story, but the night prior to us meeting, and I too, um, and this is personal. Me and Ashley have been friends for years. So Ashley know my side of the story pretty well. Um, my goal was to intentionally date. I didn't want no hookups. I didn't want no playing around. I tried that at 18. It didn't work for me. And I told God that the next man that I date, I want him to be my husband. So I hadn't dated for years, and granted, I had been on a couple of dates, but what I did was I put myself out there, and I told God that I was going to put myself out there, but I was going to take him with me. Or rather, he told me that, put yourself out there, Shanika, but take me with you. Know that I'm first in all things. And so, the night prior to me and my husband meeting, I had met this guy on a different site, and he was talking good. I love the Lord. I got one daughter. And in the middle of the night, I was woken up and I had this feeling inside of me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And so, um, that morning riding to work, I think I had to be to work at 7 or 8 that morning. And that morning riding to work, clear as day, the spirit told me, delete him and block him. And so me being me, I'm like, no, this could be the one. I haven't had, much success. I'm thinking, I finally found somebody that is, professing that they want Christ and that they want to do right. And I'm like, God, we know in this culture, in this world, in society today, that's another topic for another day, is
Right.
not how it goes. Um, so I got to work and I literally sat in the parking lot. I backed in and I sat in the parking lot and I'm trying to reason with God, right? Trying to say, well, maybe it's just me, maybe it's the jitters and all that. Maybe I'm getting cold feet because something, maybe this may be something. And I picked up my phone and I blocked and deleted him and I threw my phone in the passenger seat and I said, okay, God. And I walked into work and I met my husband by lunchtime.
And you met him through the app.
Facebook dating, yes.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. And at what point in you guys meeting and then, the talking stage did you both say, yeah, this is it? This is it for us?
Well, for me, like, I was always trying and trying and trying for almost like uh a year or so. And I said to my coworker, like, man, I haven't been finding anyone like, just family oriented, and I'd already had a son and would understand, what I'm saying. And I said to my coworker, man, this gonna be my last um time trying on the app, you know. And I deleted it and I installed it back, and that's when I matched with my wife Shanika, and I was like, I'm gonna give it, a shot.
Uh-huh.
And I asked a couple questions right there in the beginning. I'm like, hey, you go to church, you read the Bible, and
Yeah.
that's
You need
what
to know these things.
I'm looking for. Huh?
Right. I said, because you need to know those things, definitely when it comes to God.
Yeah, most definitely. And so she fit all that. So I was like, let me see who's this young lady, So pick it off from there.
He's
I
so cute.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I love the most, and I know that we don't speak often, Scott, but
Yeah.
what I do love the most is, and what I would like to say is, thank you, just for loving my friend. I know you've been around, a while. However, I also
Mhm.
know you know how much we mean to each other. Um, and that
Mhm.
friend is a friend that's close, near, and dear to my heart. And just being able to know that she's good all the way across the board, that she's truly with somebody who truly loves her, makes her happy, makes her smile. Um, I think that nobody else is more deserving than her. And so I'm thankful, to God that she was not able to move forward with the other guy and that you reinstalled your app, because you guys make such a beautiful couple. You're so equally yoked. And I just love that not only that she's happy, but you happy. You guys bring the happiness out in each
Yeah,
other.
for sure.
So I just want to say thank you for loving my friend
Most
and,
definitely.
taking that ease off and just, allowing us to know that she's good, she's safe. And even, at the shower when your mom was speaking
Yeah.
and when she started to pray, I was like, oh yes, sir. This is what she need to be right here. Let me tell you, your mom was doing a lot of things, but she wasn't playing. She got up and we thought it was gonna be a simple little, this is my son, I love him, this is my grandbaby. No, sir. Baby was going in. And y'all should let her go a
Mhm.
little deeper. But I love that. I love that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
loving.
no problem. You're welcome.
Thank you for loving her. Now you guys have met. You guys meet for the first time. Go on first dates.
Yeah.
Um, how? At what point, Scott, did you
Mhm.
know like this is my wife and we got to get this thing together? Like, nah, pronto.
Uh, Pretty much, after the first date, I was like, I really think she's the one. You know what I'm saying? Because she had um what you call it, similar um
Spirit.
yeah, yeah, qualities and spirit, and she was looking for the same thing I was looking for. And yeah, I thought she was, the most beautiful woman on earth, and she
Oh
was so
my gosh.
warm, welcoming, and I told her about my son, and she would love him just as same as our newborn coming in April, you know. And I think pretty much after the first date, then I realized like, hey, she would definitely be the one. And I think I told her like the same night that I would marry her, you know.
Mm, good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. So, prior to you guys meeting,
Mhm.
actually, like around the baby shower time, I want to say it was right at a year that we had done a podcast series called Single, Save, and Celibate.
Okay.
And so Shanika and Sade were the two that I interviewed for that segment because they were two of my friends that I knew were single, saved, and celibate. Great conversations, and something she stated was that she felt like she was not approachable because she thinks that maybe she comes off too strong. And Sade and I was just like, no, like the right person is gonna see past that. If you're coming off too strong for them and they're not even willing to conversate with you, then it's not even worth the conversation.
Right.
Um, so clearly she didn't scare you off because you're still sitting in there. So
Yeah, that's right.
clearly she didn't scare you off. So, but I told Sade, I said it's just so amazing that we are here.
Yeah.
At her shower, her and her husband are celebrating, and just a year ago we were doing a different podcast. So I'm just so extremely excited for you both and where God is taking you and your marriage. Um, what I wanted to ask you all as well was what has been the most unexpectedly beautiful moment in your journey as newlyweds.
Just go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead.
Unexpected. Say that again for me, please, Ashley.
You said say it again for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. What has been the most unexpectedly beautiful moment in your journey as newlyweds?
I would say how easy it has been. And granted, it hasn't been just easy because it takes a lot of giving to yourself, a lot of sacrificing. But
Yes.
my husband, and I'm gonna say this, is the most selfless person that I know. Like he works two jobs and he does it, he don't complain, he don't bat an eye. He does everything for our family, and loving him has been so easy. Um, and of course, I know you hear the older people say, "Hey, listen, y'all gonna come up to some bumps and bruises along the way. It's you in that honeymoon phase." But I'll take what I can get. So
Right.
being in this phase, just to come and I relocated from, of course, my hometown Fort Pierce up to West Palm Beach to start our life together. And it has been the smoothest, easiest transition. My in-laws, and we currently live with my in-laws. My in-laws are easygoing. Like it couldn't be no better than this. Um, and just the the welcome, just me being welcomed in, and my husband, he's shy, but he's not shy with me. And that's something that I love, and just the security that I feel, and his intentionality. I think this is the most intentional man that I have ever met. I would always say, if one word I could think of, it's just that intentionality. He means well and he does well. And
Mhm.
I'm that's something for me that was just, and of course, with our journey, I'm probably jumping the gun. We married 2 months and 22 days into knowing each other. We married really soon. And of course, people may say, "Did you have reservations?" I don't know. Of course I did. Of course I did. Of course there were those moments, and I'm sure I can speak for the both of us where you kind of say, "Man, am I going crazy? Should I
Right.
really do this?" And I know for me, and I tell him all the time, and up until this day, it wasn't me, it was God. It
Hmm.
wasn't me. It was some specific things God had told me down through the years that nobody knew but me and God. And it
Hmm.
came right into play with my husband. And so that plus his intentionality in which God told me that I would experience that I wasn't gonna have to worry. I don't have to worry. And for me, that is just like, and I know it's probably oh ye of little faith. It's like, oh my God, God is working. Like you
Yeah.
said it was gonna be like this. You said that, you know, everything would be well. And I think for me that just the confirmation of God keeping his word in my life, it's like, okay, God, that was unexpected. And of course I should expect it,
Yeah.
but that's something for me. I would say that.
Yeah. Naturally, I think you have reservations, and it's not because that person has given you a red flag. It's just, I think, our natural instinct to want to save, keep us safe. Definitely when you have had a couple of bad situations or things that just did not work out, or things like you said that you thought was it, and God's like, no, that's not it.
Mhm.
Um, what I will say is enjoy your honeymoon phase, however long that lasts. um because granted, there are tough times that come with marriage, and that's something I know both of you know, because you're both um believers of Christ. You understand that, two well-rounded individuals, and I have no shadow of a doubt that even when a tough time comes, love is going to triumph it all. So just enjoy the honeymoon phase, because it's necessary when things aren't so sweet. When things get a little harder and it gets a little more testy. I think for us, they were saying that if you get past the 7-year itch, you're okay. And we in the 7-year itch. We're in the 7-year itch, and it's not bad, but I get it. I'm like, oh, what's year 7? But it's 7 years of, sometimes some of the same stuff, and it's not necessarily good, bad, indifferent, whatever. It's just 7 year, like that's me telling someone to do something for 7 years, like pick this up for 7 years. I've been saying that over and over. It's 7 year 7 to get a little tired. It's just like, nah, brother, I done told you 6.5 times prior to this one. You would think maybe at that 6.5 time you got it, but absolutely not. You did it. And you shocked every time. But just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Let it ride. Continue to, embrace each other and just truly enjoy all that God has in store for you. And you know that when you said there was an easy transition, but when God is in the midst of it, it is going to be easy. Definitely when He is in the center of it and He's ordained it and said, yes, this is what it is and this is how it should go. And we follow His footsteps. I find it to be much easier to do it His way than ours.
Sure.
For sure. For sure. Scott, did you want to add anything?
Just
Because I believe in you, brother. That's what I want you to know. Unlike some people who just be counting you out, I believe in you.
I would just say, like, how, how fast we got pregnant, like it took, literally it was like effortless, but I think like God just blessed us immediately, you know what I'm saying? Unexpectedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it, love it. Now, how do you all support each other during the toughest times, and how has it strengthened your bond?
I think so far for me on my end, the toughest part of our union so far has been that we have been met with some people, of course, that have not agreed with our union.
Uh-huh.
And I know for me, and I think in fact part of it, I didn't even mention it to him because I didn't want to damper what I knew God had put together. I didn't want to put a damper on it, so I don't think I even mentioned it to him when it happened. And I actually mentioned it to him the other day. But for me, it wasn't because, like I said, I didn't tell him. For me, it was just constantly reminding myself of what God had said.
Mm-hmm.
And something I do know, and man, you mentioned Sade earlier, which is a friend of ours. Um, and something that I mentioned to her in the process of me meeting my husband is this, and something me and her, have since talked about, is that people will come in your life and love you and really have
Yeah.
honest intentions for you. And they can feel a certain way. And within their whole heart, they can feel like, hey, God say no. God say not yet. And for whatever angle it may be at, hey, that's on them. But what you have to do, you have to know the God in you
Right.
and the voice of God for yourself and
Right.
say, hey, you know what? Please respect the God that's in me and with the decision that I'm gonna make, that I feel like God is leading me in. And more rather for me, it was in the field, it was a no, that I know
Yeah.
God that is leading me in. And to know if that person genuinely love you, at the end of the day, it'll be nothing but love. It'll be,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm here for you. You know what? Go through with your decision and I'll be right here for you. So that, I would say, that has been for me the toughest um so far.
Scott, I
Well,
believe in you.
for me, well, I would say I haven't really been in a tough spot because my wife, she make it so easy for me, and I'm very easygoing as well. You know what I'm saying? So what I try to do is like just master um, her ways, her emotion, what you look for in me, and certain things like that. So I'll be able to do my job as a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really find no really thing like too difficult so far.
He said so far.
Yeah.
He took a deep breath after that. I'm just gonna preface that for y'all.
But I think that no matter how long of a time it was before getting married or get engaged or having kids, people always gonna have something, you know. And unfortunately, it's just something we have to look forward to. I know that Anthony and I met, and then like 3 months later we were engaged. And of course, there's the background noise. But like you said, you have to believe God to be who He is for you. Learn God for you and hear Him for you. It may be very taboo to other people, make no sense, may not, the math may not be mathing, but as long as it goes together for you guys,
Yeah.
and like you said, you guys kept God in the center, you prayed about it, and you prayed about it separately to get together and get those prayers answered collectively. That's how you know that it was really God. So I just say continue to be encouraged, and that know that God put you together. Let no man break what you guys have brought together, and just stay encouraged, and let people are going to have something to say, whether good, bad, or indifferent. You just have to let it roll off your back and keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Can you share a moment where compromise played a significant role in resolving a disagreement?
Ooh, compromise.
Mm.
Okay, compromise. Listen, okay, so I'm not gonna go into details, but prior to us, right before we got married, there was a situation. We needed something in order to get married. And I didn't, my husband didn't handle the situation that I wanted to handle him to handle the situation. And I stormed off the phone and we texted a little bit between the next day or two. And and because I'm of me knowing like um and then he didn't respond back. Like we texted for a day or two. He asked me a question and then he didn't respond back.
It's Scott over there smiling
Listen,
for you.
listen, my husband is stubborn. And because of like And it's something that I appreciate about God is who he has allowed me to be. When I tell y'all, it's nothing that it's like I look at stuff that I do and I'm like, God, I know this is you working because this ain't me. So I say, you know what, God, this man, I know that this man is intentional. I say, I'm gonna go ride down now. Remember, I'm in Fort Pierce at the time. I say, I'm gonna just pop up at his job because I'm not losing him. I said, and I did. I gave him a hard time. Y'all, if y'all know Loretta, she's a hard time. God rest her soul.
Lord have
And
mercy.
so I
Come by
tried,
me, Jesus.
I got it in me. Lord knows I do. So I did. I gave him a hard time. And I said I was coming down. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna lose him. And so when I pulled up, and in my mind, I had romanticized it. I'm like, by the end of the night, we gonna be done made up and we gonna be good. And I pull up, y'all, and it did not go good. It did not. It did not go good. And all I'm thinking in my mind, and I'm crying. And I'm like, I done lost him. I can't believe this. And I done lost him. I'm just a crying. And so through a third party representative that was a supporter of both of us. But what it took was for us both to take a step back. And I think for the both of us, and it took me, it took heart because I still was upset when I got there.
Yeah.
And I was really upset when I left and he had dismissed me. I really was. But it took me being selfless. And I know um I come from a background of church. I've been churching my whole life. I love church. Church is my heart. And I had former leaders that no matter what, their marriage was solid. And something that they always said was no matter what, you do the right thing. I don't care what that person did, you make it right. And so that was all that was in my mind. Shanika, you make it right. And it took me some putting my pride to the side to hit that road to go. But I knew that the man that God allowed to be vulnerable, like I said, he's shy, but he's completely vulnerable with me. He shared his emotions with me. And I'm like, God, I know this ain't a facade. This ain't nobody playing around. And I have to pursue that. I'm going to go get my baby.
Mm-hmm.
So that took compromise. And then as well, afterwards, him coming down and saying, you know what, I want this no matter what. So that took some compromise. That was hard to say, y'all. So
Yeah. Yeah.
He talking about yeah. You have something to add?
Well, I'm just saying, like, at, at that time, like, there was something I had to take care of, but the way my wife is, she's not a person who, like me, say, I have 2 weeks prior to take care of something. I probably go like the day before, I always late for things, but she always, on time person and always organized. But, I told her I had the situation under control, but she, she like persists that, I get it done immediately. I'm like, no, it ain't gonna work that way. You know what I'm saying? Um, I take care of it, don't worry about it. So it was just like a big old misunderstanding. And I think she's learning the way I deal with situations, and I'm learning the way she deal with situation. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sundays, she would get up maybe pretty early to prepare for church and so on. I may just jump up in time to get the shower and get ready.
And
And
they have just enough time.
yeah, and I value that. So I try to not give her trouble in terms of, I know important church is and being on time. So I'll make an effort to get up and, just compromise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get up ahead of time and, try to push through so we get to church and so on. So it's still a learning process, but, we definitely understanding each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, what small gestures or act of kindness do you guys cherish the most with each other? Well, from each other, rather.
just, um, okay.
Listen, what do you like that I do that I told? What ways that I say you that I love you?
Mm. There's so many ways, Um, it's just her being a spontaneous person, very caring, loving, like everything you could think of what a wife would do, and more, I would say, uh, specifically. But, you know, she definitely take, take care of me and very loving. Sometimes I'm like, no, honey, I got this. But she's like, no, I got to play my part. I'm like, yeah, I understand, but, I'll help out too.
He helps out a lot. Help out too is an understatement. He helps out a lot, and I've said it, and I can't say it. He makes it really easy for me. There's no gender roles in our marriage. We do it all together.
Right.
Um, and I love that. Like to know that I'm traditional in a lot of ways, but I'm new school in a lot of ways as well. I think the new school keep you from tying out so easily with trying to do everything, and he won't dare let me do it by myself. He won't at all, and like I love that, and I just love spending time with him. He really my favorite person. I really love spending time with him. I
And we
do.
gonna give you that pass, Scott, because she know that very territorial. But I'm gonna give you a pass, brother. You got a pass.
Just,
Ain't nobody else try to go be a problem. I know what you know.
I do. I love spending time with him. He's just so cool. He's so laid back. And it's like he really chill. Whatever goes with him. It's okay. You want to watch a movie, whatever you want to do, sugar. And so I do. I just the time spent with him. It took me a long time to get him, and
Yeah.
this is my goal to enjoy my husband. It really,
Come
really
on.
is my goal to enjoy him.
Come on.
Mhm.
Come on. I think for well, I'll save that for when he actually comes onto the show. But we'll answer some questions later. How do you all discover like your new hobbies and passions together since being married? So, how do you guys come and say, we like to do this, we like to do that? How do you guys come across that? Because I know you said that she's very, spontaneous, so how does that work for you who's very, subtle?
Listen, this is a work in progress. So, as stated, we are expecting the child in April. We got a 6-year-old as well. And I'm briefing my husband that we gonna need some time without the kids so we could live life. And he ain't quite gotten that part just yet.
Well,
And
when you get him to get it, you let me know so I can send you over here to help Anthony get it. Now we don't been together 9 years, So when you get him to get it, and he don't feel got that whole concept under wrap, and he got that thing together, I'm gonna need y'all to pack up, come back here. Let's have a conversation with Miss Ivory. Cause that brother don't get it. It don't matter how you line that thing up. It don't matter how you deliver. He ain't get it.
actually, I'm gonna tell you this, and part of me, part of it is because I know that he's a great father. He loved being a father. Like it blows my mind the love that he had in his heart for his children.
Yeah.
Um, and I know and I tell him this, that if he didn't take care of Othania, our 6-year-old, if he didn't take care of Othania, me and him wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be sitting here married.
Right.
I grew up with a stepfather. He took care of 5 of us that weren't his.
Yeah.
And my stepfather never made either one of us ever feel like it was like we were a burden to him in any kind of way.
Right.
To this day, I have a brother that's married, and baby, that's our niece. That is our niece, and that's how my mama raised us because that's what she was given. And so, to have Othaniel, to see the love that he had for him, that was part of the reason that wooed me to marry him. But nonetheless, listen, I'm gonna want him to myself
I'm
sometime.
listening. I'm
And listen,
listening.
my husband ain't been that corny yet with, you know,
Yeah.
letting somebody keep churn while we, we go for the weekend. 'Cause
Yeah.
he always said
You
kids can
know,
come.
you understand? I be trying to put it in the atmosphere, and it just be like, ain't nobody trying to grab it. You know, they say
Listen,
we trying to grab your blessing. Ain't nobody trying to grab it. They just letting it fall by the wayside. That's crazy to me. But
listen,
it's necessary to have that time,
for sure.
without the kids. It's necessary. It's definitely necessary. And I think that I'm a part of this group on Facebook called the Marriage Club, I think it's called. And it's just like a group of married people from all over the world. And people just put random questions in there, like if they have any issues, not like let me spill my life, but like it's a great group to be a part of, honestly.
Listen, it
It's not
takes a
any
village.
negativity. Huh? It takes a village. And when you have a question that you can just hop in there and say, boom. And let me tell you, within an hour, you're going to have a couple answers. You may not agree with all of them, but it's a whole bunch of different perspectives that make you, level out. But I wrote in a group and I said, I'm kind of in a space where I don't want to share my husband with my children. Does that make me a bad parent? And like, there's a lot of people like, no, girl, I feel the same way. They need to go sit down. We need a babysitter. Trying to drop them off the granny house now. Like, we need the time. And it's not, and I tell my husband all the time, it's not even about like sex. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about that. It's just time that needs to be vested. I said, because these kids gonna grow up and go on about their business, and we're gonna be stuck here. Not
Together.
knowing each other together. Because you ain't going nowhere. I told Anthony, it's me or death. That's it. I said, to death do us part. That's the only way you can lead. That's it. So either live and be with me or meet the Jesus. That's it. That's the two options.
Not meet the Jesus.
Meet the Jesus. That's it. That's it. That's it. But you have to spend that time, because what I've realized and what I'm realizing is we are constantly evolving and becoming different people. Like, the person I met 9 years ago is not who I am married to. It's a whole different individual. And the person he met 9 years ago is a whole different individual. And guess what? 9 years from now, I'm still going to be a different person, because we are always evolving. And I think time allows us to continuously learn our spouse and what they like and what they don't like, and love languages and all that stuff, because that stuff change with time. The older we get, I might like walking on the beach when we were younger, but maybe my knees may not allow me to do that anymore. So that ain't my favorite thing anymore. I might have liked ice cream, and maybe that don't sit well with me no more. So no, we got to find something else. But that's me sitting and learning my person. And that's by watching a movie and having a conversation, or going to dinner, or riding, like, because I'm not a hard person to please. Put some good music on and ride me down A1A or Indian River Boulevard, Indian River Drive. I'll be just as happy, but make sure you get me a fry or a Sprite. You need a frappe or something to hold me over. But I'm content. I don't need a whole bunch. Now, if sometimes you want to throw a lobster in there with some red crab, I love me a little red crab. That's one of my favorite spots to be now,
Excuse me.
one of my favorite spots. But that ain't always got to be the case. Sometimes we can do something different. But just that simple thing is in like that means the world. And it helps so much with understanding and just being able to, and it actually helps too, I guess, in the sense where I think, like, so now there are conversations that I can have with my husband that I couldn't have before, because that Ashley wasn't trying to hear. But this one, she was like, oh, let me take my time, get my emotions out of it. Let's think about the thing. Okay. Like the other day, he said, the other day I was in bed and he wanted me to go to the store with him, to Walmart to pick up. Listen, my husband on Discover, he can order grocery online and they'll bring to his car. Y'all can hang it up. He ain't gonna catch him in the grocery store. He can hang it up. So he wanted me to come with him to get the grocery. And I was like, okay, let me know. And so he was just asking me, like, I'm ready. I'm about to go. I was like, well, I thought we were going together. He was like, oh, but you were laying in bed. It was how he said it, his tone and body language. And normally, little Ashley would have popped off. Aline the surface quick. She'd been all up in that thing. But I'm like, no, Aline, sit down a little bit, sit down. So I said, I told him, I said, pause. I said, now just look at your body language and listen to your tone. I said, now that could have went really left.
Yeah.
I had not evolved, and if I was not working on me, that could have went left for no reason, all because you simply wanted to go to the store and you just didn't know you were unsure if I was going or not. And it was your tone and body language. I said that was received really wrong. And once I said it and stopping him in that moment saying, hey, check your tone and your body language. He's like, oh, well, I didn't even realize. I said, and often you don't. I said, that's why sometimes the response isn't what you think it would be, or you get a different response is because I feel attacked, or your body language or your tone is off. So what could have been said in a loving way, or not even lovey-dovey, just in a way of respect and not necessarily me attacking you, things could have went totally different. So I think that's why it's important to learn your person. And I realize sometimes he just doesn't realize his tone and his body language. It's not because he's frustrated, mad, hate me, don't want to be with me, married, don't want to be married. It's not that. It's just I think we just don't think sometimes about our language and how we're responding. Because you think you honor it like this, but you really like, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, but I didn't say it like that. But you absolutely did. So I think it is definitely important to spend time and make that time important time together, Scott. And I got faith in you once again because I'm gonna believe in you. I'm gonna believe in you. I'm gonna believe in you. And if you guys are having a date down here, you can bring the chair.
Pardon?
We got you. If you guys are down here, you want to go on a date down here, we can. I'm a great babysitter.
Okay.
I'm a great one. My kids have survived for 13 whole years. And that's God. So you let me know. But yeah, it's important to spend that time. Scott, did you have something to add?
I would just say, like, you basically said it already, but we were in church maybe 2 months ago. The pastor was preaching basically the same thing you were saying. Like, if there's an argument, one gotta be 20%, the other gotta be 80%.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to be heated, and that would start like a big conflict with you and Anthony, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
one gotta be the more calm on the calmer side and just, be the bigger person and just say, hey, you toned in a little bit off, what's up, or check your tone, you know what I'm saying? So y'all don't get in that argument or anything.
Yeah.
So I think in relationship you just gotta, like, as you said, know your people, your person.
Absolutely. What can you describe a time when laughter helped ease challenging situations in your marriage, or a challenging situation in your marriage?
Laughter. Mm.
I don't know.
There's a-
I don't know. I was gonna say, we just I don't know about challenging. Like I always would say to him, my husband, my husband. And it ain't even gotta be nothing challenging, but it could be something just silly or something like that. And we just laugh together anyways. Like
Yeah.
we haven't had too many of those hard, we have to laugh to keep from crying days.
Listen.
And I pray when Jesus spin the block with them, that they be few and far in between in Jesus' name.
Hallelujah. 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 Oh, woo. Scott, did you have something to add?
No, so far.
what how do you guys express your gratitude to each other in your daily lives?
We actually do that almost every day, um, you know, because I work so early. So when I'm at work, you know, I would text to my baby or she would text me, how grateful we are and how much we love each other. And we do that like every day, you know. And if I'm slipping up, then I see baby, we say it and I was like, yes, baby, I love you so much, thank you for being in my life and so on, you know what I'm saying? But that's our everyday routine for us. Yeah.
For sure. I know for me, something that I vowed to myself, and I haven't shared this with him, is that I don't want him to ever feel like he need to find love anywhere else. I don't want him to ever feel like anybody else is more proud of him, that anyone else is a greater supporter, that anyone loves him, anyone think he the most handsomest, sexiest, all of the good stuff. I don't need nobody to do my job.
Right.
So I do my best to encourage him and just if it ain't but baby, stay positive. I love you. Thank you for all you do for the family. Um, you know, and encouraging him because I know the men they carry the weight of the family, by default, because that's how God designed it. But just to let him know, hey, I'm right here by your side.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna hand you a glass of water while you're carrying it. I got you.
Right.
So I try
Right.
to let him know that regularly, and we do. We both do on a day-to-day basis. Just make
Mhm.
sure that we're staying connected in words and just uplifting each other, encouraging each other, and just sharing how much we love and appreciate one another. So,
Awesome.
that's
What
my
would you say
handsome
is your,
baby.
Yes,
and let them know. What would you say is your, this is for both of you. What would you say is your favorite thing about each other?
Ooh, favorite. I would say his intentionality. I think that's
Mhm.
the number one word when I think of him is how intentional he is. That he from day one, this man told me he wanted me, he pursued me, and never changed the word. Never
Mhm.
haven't changed the word. I don't have to worry about him.
Mhm.
Um, and so I would say he's very intentional. Very intentional. I love that about
I would say the peace of mind she brought to my life, and how happy she made me.
Good stuff. I love it. I love it. What advice do you have for other newlyweds or those who may be contemplating marriage, in the talking stage, not sure if they are having those reservations? What advice do you have for them?
Trust God first, and pray. Seek His faith, and look into individual. How can they like uplift you, and if they have good intentions for you, and maybe future goals they might have. See it, entwine with yours, and just take it slow.
I
Choose.
would say very, very well said, baby. I would say that take God with you. Take God with you. He's gonna lead, he's gonna guide, he's gonna direct. And you have to know that when he speaks, he makes no mistake.
Mhm.
And I'm coming from being single for over 10 years. And I know, listen, listen, I know the heart of a single woman because I've been a single woman longer than I've been a married woman. And I know that we want love and you want that affection and you're tired of doing it by yourself. And it's hard out here. Everything's so expensive, everything's so high. And I'm having to do it by myself. And God, I'm trusting you and I'm doing it the right way. Don't compromise. Keep going. If you're holding on, you just barely hanging on. Keep barely hanging on, because he's gonna come and he's gonna strengthen you. He promised to renew our strength, and he said that because he knew he was gonna have to renew our strength. Listen,
Right.
God leans in. It ain't if it get hard. He's telling you, baby, when it get hard, I'm gonna be right there with you because he knows that. He knows it's gonna get hard, but we have to know too And we have to hold on. We have to keep our end of the vow. His word is clear. He say, holiness without, we won't see him. So do right. We can't do it all way, be sneaking around with Bob, Tom, and John and all of that. We can't do it that way. We have to do it his way, because the right one's gonna come and he's gonna wait. He's gonna see you worthy of waiting for. And
Wait.
to, to wait. And they will. They will wait. They will wait. He will wait. She will wait, because it's not only on the single women, it's single men out there. She will wait. And the right person will come and they'll wait. And even though it's gonna be hard, and that's something too. Don't expect perfection, because nobody perfect. In the beginning, God gave me 2 words when it came to him. He said, be patient with them. And remember, he's just a man. He's just a man. And prior to us meeting, at the time that church I was attending, it was a lot of sermons on flawed people in the Bible. And we know we could start with David, how flawed David was. But God said that David was a man after his own heart, as flawed as David was. And God brings it back to my mind. Remember, he's just a man. He's not Superman, Shanika. He's not only yours. Other people gonna love him. Other people gonna need him. He's just a man. Remember that, and be patient with him. And you got to know that. And I think a lot of times, because it, at church, I'm gonna press that button. We never got taught how to date properly. We never got taught how to date intentionally. Most churches we went to, they matched us up. He single, you single, you came at the same time. You 20, he 54. It worked. Well, let's do it.
Shanika.
And you know what I mean? Like, hey, been there. Listen, I kid you not, been there. So you won't, and not to say, and I'm not saying that to say, to throw anything bad on the black church. Everybody, listen, everybody out here, we doing the best we know how to do. Grandma, grandpa, and them, the old church, they're all only they did the best that they know how to do.
Right.
But now they say when you know better, you do better, right?
Yeah.
So when you know better, you do better. You want to incorporate in what his word, exactly what his word said. And that's the biggest thing. Just listening to what his word say. Something for me, and this topic is I'm passionate about, because like I said, I spent more time being single.
Take your time with it.
It was back in the book of Genesis, I want to say. Somewhere Genesis, it was in the beginning of the Bible. I want to say within the first 5 books. And I think it was Lot. If it wasn't Lot, it was from the lineage of Lot. It was a group of sisters. They petitioned Moses to go to God for their inheritance. Because back then, of course, in Bible days, women, you had to be a boy to get inheritance. And God said, give them their inheritance. And then she went back later on, and it was regarding dating. And it was like, who do I marry? And God just told her, you pick somebody from your lineage. And I think over time, we done overthought and overprocessed. He got to be the right one, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. God say, listen, hey, slow down.
Yeah.
You pick somebody that loves me. Remember, he's going to be just a man, and be patient with him.
Yeah.
And I think that's the simplest we can keep it. And go from there. And remember, the intention got to be there. Listen, if he wants you, you going to know it.
Yeah.
You don't have to guess it. You don't have to try to figure it out. He gonna come, and he gonna keep coming for you. You're gonna know it. And that's how you know. And a lot of times people we figure, and I'm guilty of it. Man, how will I know when he come? I don't know. How will I know? And if you will know, you'll know. I'm like, but how would that mean? What that mean? You'll know. Really, I can't. You'll know. You'll know. But take God with you. Let him lead the way. Don't do it without him, because it ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is definitely important, like you said, that black church done messed us up real good. They done messed us up really good, and I think my relationship got in its best place when I learned God for myself.
Hello.
And I learned the way of the gospel, and just having that relationship and that foundation in myself, not what somebody said, not how they interpreted it, but just for myself. And I think, like you said too, with relationships, they didn't tell us how to date. And as we spoke about when we were doing a single, saved, and celibate thing, and they speak about when you're dating and what you should do and shouldn't do. And I think they're so focused on that intimacy part, they forget the key stuff. They forget the stuff that you're going to need to get through them hard times.
For sure.
The things you need to, look into prior to even considering marriage. I think they look over that stuff because they're just so fixated on don't have sex before marriage. don't have sex before marriage. But what about the other stuff in marriage? And I
For
think
sure.
that too has a lot to do with why marriage is under such an attack. You know what I'm saying? So many people getting divorced. So many people just ready to walk away. And it's just like, well, I think I'm just the type of person that looks at a problem and wonder, why is it that way? Like, at what point did the dynamic change where we're like, oh, I'm not doing it anymore? I think people are starting to leave marriages for their minor stuff.
Absolutely.
You sneeze hard too many times in the wrong way, done. I'm done. Nobody's willing to work for it. Nobody's willing to roll up their sleeve and say, hey, let's get to the nitty gritty. I
Yeah,
think we have to have the understanding that the same, example that Scott used is, sometimes I have 80 and he has 20, but sometimes I only got 10 and I need you to have 90. Or sometimes you only got 70 and I need to give to 30. You're going to have to know how to be flexible and how to work that thing. And something valuable that I have learned, best piece of advice I could have got, I have gotten in marriage, which was the beginning part of my marriage, was marriage doesn't work. You work marriage.
I like that.
And I was given the ABCs of marriage, which is the accountability, balance, and communication. And those are two things that have always stuck with me. Like, even, in some of the tough, because we've had some tough moments. And that D word in the first like year and a half had come up because I think we were both unaware on how to be a married couple. You know what I'm saying? Nobody had an example of what a healthy marriage looked like, how to go about getting a healthy marriage. And then it's the merging of two different, backgrounds, two different households, like you being brought up one way, me being brought up one way. It's a lot of stuff that we're trying to merge, and it just was not working.
a lot of that was also, sorry to cut you, like,
No, no, you're good.
her culture is American, I'm Jamaican, so a lot of times she do stuff, I'm like, oh, we don't do it that way, or you know what I'm saying? So, but I like the mixed culture though, but you know what I'm saying? It's just for you to like just um compromise and just understand,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you have to know that it's not, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to get to a destination. Yours may be a straight shot, mine maybe a few roundabouts, couple dope words, whatever. But if we're gonna end up in the same spot, I'm not hurting you and you're not hurting me. You gotta do what you gotta do to get there,
yeah,
and that's okay. But I think that my heart just aches for those who are married and just divorce is just the only way for them. I say to any couple, go get therapy, baby. Go sit and talk to somebody. It's okay. Like, that doesn't mean you failed. It just means you need help. And it's not saying, oh, well, I have God. You have God. Yes, you have God, but you need somebody on this side too to help you.
Godly
And
counsel.
I'm not I'm not trying to be funny. And I hope don't nobody take it personal. I love Jesus, love the church. However, your pastor is not a therapist. Your pastor don't have all the answers. Your pastor can only give you life experiences and what they have gone through, what has or has not worked for them. You
mm,
need somebody who's going to take all the biasness away and just strictly give you a good talking to and help you get to the bottom line of what is truly going on.
sure.
I've ran into a couple couples where they're like, oh, my uh about therapy, either like one of the parties is just not open to it. Like, I don't need therapy. Oh, I'm not doing that. But I think if I love you enough, and therapy is what you think we need, and we're in the bad spot, and therapy is what you think it's going to take, let's do it.
For sure.
Or put me aside, because it's not just about me. It's not my marriage. It's our marriage.
For
So if
sure.
you feel like that is a tool that we need to save, if I truly want to save it, let's do it. Because what does it hurt?
Right.
I think people are afraid to see them. And I just post something on Facebook. Sometimes I had to work on me because in some cases I was the problem.
For sure.
And you have to realize that sometimes you are the issue. You need to check yourself, step back and work on you. And I had a season in our marriage where I had to just work on Ashley. I was married, but I just could not understand that thing for the life of me. I couldn't. So I stepped back, and I know at that time my husband probably felt like, oh wow, she must be seeing somebody. It wasn't even the case. It was the case of I had to focus on me and fix me because I was raggedy. And I always want to say, you. No, it's me too. Like I can do better just like you can.
Amen to that.
Whatever. But yeah, did you guys have something to add to that? Sorry.
No, that was good stuff. It was good stuff. I am pro therapy. Pro therapy, 110%.
Absolutely. Scott, do you have anything to add?
I would just add like, being married these days, like people not being taught how to communicate and come together and work things out.
Mm-hmm.
It's always seemed like divorce is the easier
Yeah.
option today. That's what they've been taught today. So I'm just grateful for a background of marriage and my parents, not even just my parents, but I have like uncles and cousins from church background who are also married for over 30, 40 years, and I just like admire them. And coming from a Christian background from Jamaica, it's always like work it out, work it out, work it out. That's all we've been taught. And married and divorce is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
But society today, it's not the same.
Yeah. It's almost if that's the only option is divorce.
Yeah.
When it doesn't work. Yeah. As if that's the only option.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, were you done with your answer? Did you have more to add?
No.
No? Okay. Before we wrap up the show, what is something that you would like the other to know before we got off? One thing you would like to tell each other before we're off. One thing that you absolutely positively need him to know.
Meanness for life. I just told him that in the car on the ride back home. That no matter what, that we're sticking together because listen, I haven't had a good example. Matter of fact, no marriages. My mom never married. Daddy never married. My mother and my dad wasn't married. Like there was no marriages around me. In fact, when I got married to my husband, my cousin messaged me and say, "Cousin, you're the first Dorsey to get married."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "That is true. I'm the first Dorsey to get married." And I know for me, outside of God, and God always compare, the church to being the bride, the groom. And I don't think it was a mistake. I truly think after an intimate relationship with him, it is the value of marriage because it's so much strength and so much honor in it. In marriages. And so that's it, that we're in it for life, that there's nothing that life can bring that I won't be. I will be here by your side through it all. Through it all, you can count on me. Not on me, but on the Jesus in me. I love you, baby.
Your turn, Scott.
Why you leaning in like that, Ashley? I'm ready to hear this.
Y'all know, I don't talk that much, so it's not gonna be.
And I just want you to know that I'm a proud sister right now. I just want you to know that I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
some people didn't believe
Appreciate
in you, but I believed in you from the beginning.
appreciate that. So, I mean, just want my sugar to know how much, I love her and cherish her, and I'll never take her for granted. She brings so much peace to me. I keep on emphasizing on peace because I've been there for 5 years without peace. My son's mom, and I know what I've been through, and I never know like someone like her was out there and really existed. So to find that one who like filled the gap, man, she passed every um expectations that I required, and I just wanted to know how grateful I am of having her, and I never want to lose her. And she's such an incredible wife. You know, I have it so easy. I mean, I feel like the way she made me feel is like I could accomplish anything. You know what I'm saying? And she's such a good supporter. I'm so grateful. I just wanted to know.
Mhm. My honey pie.
So cute. I'm gonna be like y'all when I grow up.
Come on.
Be like y'all
Listen,
when I grow up.
listen, we gonna be in the corner. We trying to get there, honey. With
I'll be like
cheese, we
y'all when
gonna
I grow
get
up. Listen, I so appreciate you guys coming on and having a conversation with me. I love you both dearly. I'm just glad to see the happiness. Really excited for um baby boy that's on his way. That's coming on
there.
April 22nd because the Lord is good all the time. And yeah, we're gonna on April 22nd, April 22nd, you guys. That's when it's gonna happen.
Her wedding anniversary.
Yeah, April 22nd.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when that's when it's gonna happen. But no, I just truly am my heart is so happy for you guys, man. Um, I'm just glad that my friend found happiness and that she's able to do life with, someone like you, someone who is pure, someone is true, that loves her dearly, and that's all we can ask for as her friends, because we'll pull up, but I'm glad, that we not gonna have to pull up on you, Scott. So no, but I really, really have enjoyed the conversation. I do thank you just for loving my friend,
Yeah,
making her happy. And I love that you guys make each other happy. So
appreciate
continue on this journey. I'm looking forward to seeing where God takes you all. I know that He's going to do some great things in your life and in your marriage. Continue to just be great individuals. Yeah, and I just want to say that I love you guys. I thank you guys so much. Is there anything you guys would like to add before we close out? Any information that you guys would like to share? Any social media accounts? Any of those things? You are open to do that.
No, I'm not well, for me, I'm not a social media anything. But I do appreciate you, Ashley, for having us on your show. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Um
Thank you.
you in your podcast, and y'all kept hearing Ashley mention about she had her having faith in my husband. My husband is shy, and I keep saying it. I'm shocked. Like I'm skipping on the inside. I'm like, really? Is he really saying this? So I'm just so happy, and that just says that he's fond of you, Ashley. I'm telling you
Yeah.
what I know.
Wait, it was
Listen,
it was you when you asked him like side on, like I know he about to say no. He's like, yeah, you like
for real, because Ashley had already asked me, and I told her, I said, no, my husband will not do this. He would not do this. And she asked, did you ask him? And I was like, oh, let me, baby, matter of fact. He was like, yeah, I do it. Didn't even hesitate. I'm like, wait a minute. You got me looking like I'm lying about stuff. but he, but I appreciate you. You've been a friend for many years, and I'm just so grateful to see God do a work in your life and in your marriage and in your family. And just as you pray blessings over us, blessings back to you, the Ivories as well.
Because that's us
Thank
right there.
you.
Oh, did I show y'all my ring? Because this is my ring. This is my let me show it to y'all. Can y'all see it?
Yes, I can see your you know what?
My nails
Hold
ain't
on,
done,
wait,
but
let
it's
me
gonna be done
introduce
in just a
in.
moment. Because remember, I had told you I had something in my eye.
Or you had told me.
Yeah, but that's my anniversary gift, y'all. But no, I appreciate it. Listen, Scott, you did amazing.
Thank
You
you.
did
I
amazing.
appreciate it.
I told you I had faith in you, brother. I got you. Got you. Peel down. Got you.
All right.
But that is the show. I'm Ashley Angelini, your favorite host on the East Coast, and welcome and thank you for tuning in to Black, Bold, and Beautiful, the podcast for the culture. Always remember to be encouraged, stay encouraged, and don't forget to encourage someone. And until next time, it's love.